Hey guys, what is going on? So today we're talking about the controller for the DJI Spark and everything you need to know about this. So before we get into all the details about the controller itself, the first thing you always want to do is make sure that your controller is updated and connected to your Spark. So if you go on the back of your controller, there's going to be your Wi-Fi and your password. So what you want to do is turn on your controller, you click once, and then you hold until all 4 lights come up. You'll hear the beep, and now the controller's on. So now when you go into your phone, you'll see a Wi-Fi that is the Spark RC. And what you're gonna do is connect to that using your password on the back here, which I think they're all 1234 1234. If it's different, just make sure you check, it's on the back. What you're gonna do is in the DJI Go app, on the home screen where you would enter your DJI Spark device, on the top of it, there's gonna be a bar that says you need to update your controller. So go ahead and do that first. All right, if you bought the Fly More combo, then there's a good chance that the RC is already paired with your drone. I mean, I'm almost guaranteed that your RC is paired with your drone. But if you're like me, I bought the Spark on its own, and then I bought the controller separate. So you have to pair it yourself. So let me show you how you pair your RC to your Spark. So first things first, you're gonna turn on your Spark, and you're going to turn on your controller. Now that both of them are on, wait a second, wait for them to power up. To link the controller, now that it's all up and running, these aren't working together yet. So you're gonna hold this for 3 seconds, the back button of your drone, and it's gonna go into linking mode. So next, on your controller, you're gonna hold your customizable button up here, your customizable button here, and this one all at once. And then your front LEDs will turn green, and you are now paired with your controller, and you're ready to fly. All right, now that everything's paired up, everything's working properly, let's turn everything off, turn the controller off, turn the Spark off, start fresh, and now what we're gonna get into is talking about every little bit about this controller. So let's go over every little function and key and button on this right now. Okay, so this is the controller for the Spark. To turn on, you click once, you hold it down, you'll hear a click, and then the controller is on and it's going to connect. So from here, let's open up the bottom here. This is for your phone. Okay, so now your phone's in there and it's gonna hold it on tight. Second, you're gonna wanna flip your antenna out, but don't leave them like this. Spin them so they're flat or facing out. They're gonna be opposite. So that's your controller set up. Let's go over each button. On your controller, you got your thumbsticks. That's gonna be controlling everything about your drone. You have 4 buttons on the front, plus a little switch here in the middle. So your power's obviously up here in the upper right-hand corner. In the upper left-hand corner, this is your return to home. So if you ever just want the Spark to come back to you and land, you're gonna push this button. That's your emergency fail-safe if you want to initiate the process. Okay, your red pause button is your flight pause, which will automatically stop the drone mid-air, whatever you're doing. Your FN is a customizable button, and your sport mode, that's how you make the Spark go really fast and get it into sport mode. So to use this, you just flip it over and now you're in sport mode. On the top, you have 4 buttons. You have the back one here, which is a customizable button. You have your photo button, your video button, and then your jog wheel here, which allows you to tilt the gimbal up and down. So this button, we'll go over customizing that in a minute. This one, you hit that, it's gonna start recording video. This one, you hit that, it's gonna take a photo. So that's everything on the front and top. On the bottom, this is where your micro USB port is. So this is where you're gonna connect to your phone using a cable. This is also how you charge your controller. So you're gonna plug a micro USB into this and plug it into the wall or plug it into your computer. Any source that's gonna give you power, that's how you charge this. Your lights will be blinking on the front, and that's how you know your controller is charging. And then there's nothing on the back here except for your passwords and any information that you may need about the controller. All right, let's go over how you set the customizable buttons and what they do. We're on our menu screen here. We're gonna click the upper right-hand corner, which brings up the menu. And then we're gonna go into our controller settings. So there's a remote controller calibration. You can only calibrate your controller when it's not connected to the aircraft. So if you're connected to the aircraft, you're not gonna be able to do that. Basically what that does is it calibrates the sticks. So if you have any drifting or anything like that, there may be something wrong with your sticks. I would calibrate your controller to make sure everything is set up properly. Most of the time you're never gonna have to touch that, so I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, next is the stick mode. So in the stick mode, It's gonna have all your different modes. I use mode 2 for everything that I do. That's just the way I like to fly. And then at the bottom of it here, you can set up your speed slow to fast. Okay, mine's all the way turned up fast, but if you'd like to bring it back a little bit, this is all gonna come down to flying. So I would play around with different speeds and different stick calibrations to figure out what you like the most. We're back on the main menu screen for your controller. This section, let's talk about the button customization. There's 2 buttons that you can customize. So it's the one on the front and the one on the top. There's a series of things that these buttons can do. So camera forward down, that is gonna do is automatically make your camera in whatever position that it's at, either flip up to the top position, looking straight out, or flip straight down. So you can use that to basically readjust really fast. So if you're flying and you're at an angle, but you want to snap up just to see what's going on up or below, you click that button and it will snap it both directions. Gimbal follow FPV mode, first person view. So this is the button that turns on the gimbal follow on and off. I haven't used it much, but that's an option that you can have as a customizable button. Toggle map and live view. So this one goes between your map and your live view. I use it to basically quickly go back and forth to see where I'm at on the map, see where my flight path is, then go back and actually fly and see the camera. The next one after this is clear flight route, and that goes back to the map. It will clear the route that you've been flying so you can get all those squiggly lines off of it. And that is it for your customizable buttons. So personally, I use the toggle map live view on the front, and I use the camera forward down on the top. And that's my basic setup for how I fly all my drones, for what I like to use for my customizable buttons, because I'm always playing with the maps, and then I always want to be able to snap my camera into position whenever I need to. All right, guys, that's everything in the app that you need to know about the customizable buttons and what you can do with the controller. If you want to learn more about all the different features that you have in this app, go ahead and check out my first tutorial. It's a long one, but it goes through every little bit about the app. Okay, now we're updated, we're paired, I've explained every little bit about this. The next step is actually getting ready to fly. So what we're gonna do is we have to go through a sequence to make sure that everything connects properly. So first things first, the controller doesn't come with a cable to connect to your phone. So if you're like me and you fly an iPhone, you're gonna need to get one of these connectors. So what this is an OTG connector. It connects a USB to a micro USB so that you're able to take your iPhone cable and plug it in, because an iPhone to micro USB is not a common connector. Trust me, I've looked a lot for it. It's kind of annoying because there's cables everywhere, but it is what it is. If you want to get a smaller setup, there's smaller cables. You can clean this up a little bit, get a right angle. There's different ways to figure out how to make your controller work best for you. I was just in Ecuador for 2 weeks and I had to get a cable in Miami on my way through. This is what I ended up with. In the description below, I'll have links to everything that I talk about in this video, just in case you are looking for specific cables or you need a reference to look at, check those out. Okay, let's go over the sequence of getting the drone connected to the controller to the phone and then starting to fly. First things first, turn on your Spark. Just make sure it's up and running. Second, turn on your controller, just as before. Make sure that everything is set up with your controller. Your antennas are out. The next step, you're gonna take your phone and you're gonna put it in your controller, just like I showed you earlier. This is all set up. Now that your Spark and your controller are both on, it's ready to plug in the cable. You always do that last because sometimes it won't connect right if you don't. So I like to make sure I'm on the home screen of the DJI app. And then what I'll do is I'll have this cable already connected to itself. I plug in the iPhone first. It's annoying that it sticks out like that, but it is what it is. And then I'll plug in my micro USB. And you're gonna get a little warning on the iPhone that says this accessory does not work with this device. Don't worry about that because it does work. It's gonna check the version to make sure that everything's updated. If there's ever an update, do the update because you wanna make sure that your drone is flying on the best possible firmware. It'll say connected here, and then it'll say start flight. You click the start flight button, and then you're ready to start going. Everything should be connected. And that's the sequence you do every time you get ready to fly. Don't try to rush this. Make sure you turn on the drone, controller, put the phone in, plug it in, and do it in a sequence so that it works every time, because I've had issues in the past where if you try and plug everything up, just push start on both, it doesn't actually connect. Now that everything's working, let's go over the basic commands to make the Spark take off and land. When you're ready to take off, you're gonna have your phone here, everything's gonna be connected. You're going to push both controllers inward or both controllers outward to the max position that you can put them in, and that's gonna cause the Spark to turn on and get ready to go. After the blades are spinning for a second, you can push up on the controller and Spark will take off. And from there, it's just all about flying. Now to land, there's two ways to do this using the controller. The first is this button here, the return to home. So you're gonna click that, it's going to start the process of returning to home. It's gonna be beeping, it'll fly home, and then it's gonna land where you took off. That's it, you don't have to touch anything else, you've already returned to home. The other way is to manually fly, and then when you get to the position where you wanna land it, you just bring it down on the controller and hold. Now as it's coming down, you're just gonna keep holding down, it's gonna land on the ground, keep holding down until the motor's completely shut off. And that is it for taking off and landing using the controller. Guys, that is everything, beginning to end, everything you need to know about the Spark controller. If you've watched my first tutorial on how to set up the Spark, you should have everything prepped and ready, and now it is time to take off and go fly. You've got all the basics down. It's now all about just practicing, and more practicing, because to become a very good drone flyer, to get those awesome cinematic shots, you have to practice. And that's what it takes. It just takes doing it a lot. You have to know how the drone works, which is why I built these tutorials, put them all together, because once you get all this set up, it just comes down to flying skills, and it comes down to playing with the controller. So guys, in my next tutorial, we're gonna talk about basics of flying, just getting you comfortable flying with the Spark and the controller movements and all that, and then we're gonna work our way up to doing more advanced, complex movements where you're creating really cool cinematic shots. Guys, I hope this was helpful. If you like this tutorial and you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, tell me what kind of videos you're looking for, if there's anything specific you'd like to see. And guys, stay tuned. I just got back from Ecuador, and we have so much footage flying the Spark all over Ecuador. I got to fly this thing everywhere, and it was a ton of fun. I got some rad footage. So guys, I will see you on the next one.